Yeah. Yeah. All right. How's everybody doing? All right, we're going to try that one more time. I have a lot of energy. It helps me if you guys also have a lot of energy. So one more time. How are you doing? Yes, I have one person up here who's real excited, and I really do appreciate that. As Ross said, my name is Erin Everhart. I am the Senior Manager of Media and Mobile at the Home Depot. I run our media strategy for one of our 3 business lines. It's going to be our hard lines. I do patio furniture, holiday decorations, grills, tools, all of the fun stuff when you think about Home Depot. I started at Home Depot just about 3.5 years, right at this point. Now, I do not believe in causation equals correlation, but you guys can interpret this graph to your own ability. As they said, I want to talk to you a little bit about mobile. And I want to talk to you a little bit about mobile and our consumer behavior as it relates to mobile, and more specifically, what marketers are going to be able to do about our behavior on mobile. But first, I want to talk about love. Who here's in love? Raise some hands. Hi, be proud. Yes. Think about that person right now. How does that person make you feel? Do they make you feel happy? Do they make you laugh? Right? Are they a sounding board to bounce ideas off of? Are they there for you when you need advice? Right? On some level, you would even say that you're addicted to the way that the way that that person makes you feel. Right? When something becomes an addiction, there is an automatic mindlessness to it. It's muscle memory. You don't really have to think about it anymore. And I hope all of you guys feel that way about that person. Mark Griffiths is a behavioral psychologist, and he focuses on addiction. And in order for something to be a true addiction, there are 4 key critical components that have to be there. The first is you have to be immersed in it. Whatever it is the most important thing in your life. You love this thing. Number 2, it modifies your mood. If something is an addiction, it makes you happier, right? Maybe you even feel a buzz or a sense of excitement when you're with that person or that addiction, right? The butterflies in your stomach when you first started dating. Number 3, you need more of it. A little is not enough when you're addicted to something. You have to have more and more of it. And number 4, when you are not with that thing that you are addicted to, you have withdrawals. You feel like you're something missing when you're away from it. Now, how many people are away from the person that they love right now? Right? Yeah, we are in this fantastic conference at this beautiful resort, but the person that you love the most probably isn't here right now. And how does that make you feel? Are you sad? Do you miss them? Do you feel disconnected from them? Do you feel like a part of you is missing because that person is not there? Another question, how many of you have ever forgotten your cell phone somewhere? Every hand should be up. We have all forgotten our cell phone somewhere. Now, and how does that make you feel? Did you feel sad? Did you feel disconnected? Did you miss it? It's funny how this little device allows us to elicit the same emotions as the person that we love the most. On some level, everyone in here would say that you are addicted to your cell phones from there. We are bound by this digital dependence. We love these little devices. We trust these little devices, and we trust the information that they give us. 91% of people describe their phones as extensions of their brains. 70% of people said that they feel sad or panicked when they are away from their phone, even briefly. There is an actual clinical condition described as the fear of being without your mobile phone. No-mo-phobia. No mobile phone. It's so funny because nowadays we rarely have 2 free hands. One of them is always occupied by something, and usually that's going to be your cell phone. Another question, how many of you know your significant phone numbers, your significant other phone numbers by heart? Right? Oh, that's actually more people than I thought. But if I said, how many of you know how to access your significant other's phone number? Every hand should be up here because you can immediately reach for your phones to get that information. The thing is, we are no longer learning by knowing how to memorize information. We are learning by knowing how to access information. And that has an impact on the way that we have to be able to market to things, because we're no longer forced with this mental hardship to try to think about things. We're no longer forced to try to think and remember on our own what our spouse's phone number is, or who that actor was in that movie, or what the Beatles' first #1 hit was. We don't think anymore. Just yesterday, for some ungodly reason, we were trying to remember the 3 names of the animals in the Homeward Bound series. I have no idea how we got on this topic of conversation, but it was no longer than 30 seconds that someone reached for their phone to pull it up. Smartphones have eliminated this mental hardship that we have to do because we have immediate access to that information. And it's because of unlimited data plans. We are no longer bound by this fear of running out of data. We are showered with data availability. We have more data than we know what to do with. And that means we are doing things on our phones that we never thought we would be able to do before. Things that 10, 5, even 3 years ago, we were like, no, our phones are never going to be able to do that. Things like watching videos or live chatting, texting, shopping, even buying. All of these things are happening on our phones. And because of this, because of these unlimited data plans, we have a serious attention span problem right now. We can't be entertained by one thing at a time, right? Look at people in this room. You're halfway paying attention to me, but you're on your phones. Or you're reading part of the information. Or Jeff is writing down notes. We can't be entertained by one thing at a time. We are constant consumers of content, and we have access to that content on our own terms. We can choose when, where, and how we want that content. Do you know how long the average email goes unread? It's 6 seconds. 70% of office emails are read within 6 seconds. This mode of communication barely existed 20 years ago, and now we literally can't go seconds without reading it, and it's all because of this connectedness that the phone has given us. And that makes us really hard for us marketers and advertisers because we're no longer competing for media placement anymore. We're competing with things that have never historically been competition. Things like Snapchat, or news, social media. We're even competing with ourselves on our other media platforms. We're not competing for media placement anymore. We're competing for attention. And that's an even scarier competition because while we have so much more media available to us, our attention span to actually process or even care about all of that content has drastically decreased. Did you know that customers expect brands to respond to them within 60 minutes of an inquiry? 60 minutes. How are we supposed to be able to manage that now? In this day and age, immediacy will trump loyalty, and we are living in a what have you done for me lately type of mentality, and that's impacting the way that we have to use mobile to market to our consumers. It also does not help that we are dangerously over-retailed. In 2016, the number of shops, brick and mortar and e-commerce stores, was greater than our birth rate in 2016. We are literally creating more new stores than we are producing shoppers to visit said stores. We also have to think about a little generational change that needs to happen, right? And I love millennials, and we are all obsessed with marketing to the millennials. Everyone in here is, how do we get the millennial to come and buy our product? But the funny thing is, while we know that millennials spend the most time on their mobile phones, they actually spend the least out of any generation because they don't make any money. Not yet, at least. They're actually making 20% less than baby boomers did when they were their age. So what we really need to do is figure out how we can use mobile to market to the baby boomers who have the time and the disposable income, because we also need to dispel the rumor that baby boomers don't know how to use cell phones. Right? And I know that we all have like the crazy Uncle Joe who can't use emojis and needs an iPhone help set up, but it's very, very clear from this data back in 2015 that baby boomers are very comfortable switching between both desktop and mobile seamlessly. Okay, let's level set a little bit before we go further, because as marketers, we tend to get a little obsessed over new technology. Everyone in this room is guilty of it. We hear about a new tactic, a new platform, a new tool, and we jump on it, right? We are just obsessed, and we have to use it all the time. And so I'm here today, right now, to tell you I'm really going to try to give you actionable, tactical, and scalable things that you guys are going to be able to take home and implement with your companies. First, let's talk about what it actually means to be mobile first. And I'm sure everyone in here has your own definitions, but for me, being mobile first means things like vertical video. It's really funny how we don't even want to pivot our cell phones anymore to watch a video, and that's annoying to us. Being mobile first means being personalized. We have the capability to personalize your content and your messaging to everyone on their mobile phone. Being mobile first means fast loading. People don't want to wait for things. They don't have time to wait for it to load. It also means being non-intrusive, relevant, and to the point. You don't have to be very clever when it comes to mobile marketing because you don't have time to be clever when it comes to mobile marketing. And lastly, you need to be brand-led when you're mobile. So if you are just taking your 15-second TV spot and repurposing it for your mobile digital video buy, you're losing out because people probably won't watch all 15 seconds and your brand message won't come until the very end. Put your brand up first when it comes to mobile because that's when people are going to be able to see things. So if we know that's what mobile first means, in order to win at mobile, you don't create new experiences. You integrate with the experiences that people are already naturally doing on their cell phones. And that falls into 7 key categories. First, it's going to be texting, emailing, social media, gaming, reading, videos, and shopping. That's it. It sounds like a lot, but really, we only visit about 29 apps and 63 websites on your mobile phone. And if you pull out your phone right now and you look at the apps that you have downloaded on your phone, or look at the websites that you used to visit, those are key indicators of what you are passionate about. Whether it's Spotify because you love music, or if it's Baby Center because you just had a new kid, or if it's the wine tracker because you love drinking wine. Those are key things to tell us as marketers what you are passionate about, and those are the experiences that we have to start integrating into. So we know that people use smartphones to shop. But when they are shopping on their smartphones, what activity are they doing? And I see 5 things that people do when they are shopping on their smartphones. First, they are looking for price comparisons. They are not going to go to the one retailer anymore because they are totally loyal to that retailer. They are going to find the best price possible. Number 2, they are looking for product information, more information that they can get that's not going to be on the packaging, that's usually right in front of them when they're looking at it. Number 3, they are looking for customer reviews, and this is really important because we've talked so much about AI, and it's so valuable to what we're doing as marketers, but as good as an algorithm is, it cannot answer a question nearly as well as another human being. Number 4, we are couponing on our mobile phones. We want to get the best deal possible. And number 5, which I think is not nearly paid enough attention to, is we are looking for stores. We are looking for stores when we are using our mobile phones. And so for Home Depot, when I'm trying to think of what does my mobile marketing look like, it first starts with how am I going to optimize my mobile destination? And there are a couple of things that we've done. This means localizing your product to the closest store that you are at. But it also goes a step further because it's not only localizing to the closest store, it is showing you the exact location in store, aisle and bay, where you can pick up that product. Because if you have ever walked into a Home Depot, that is not your Home Depot, it is like walking into Narnia. You have no idea where anything is. So we've developed a store locator map to show you aisles and bays of where you can find those specific products. We've also given purchase and delivery options on mobile because people want choices. Whether that's having it shipped to their home or having express delivery from their store or allowing you to go to the store to pick it up yourself, people want those options, and that's the same when it comes to payment. Checking out now via HomeDepot.com or even allowing people to pay through PayPal. We also start leveraging local inventory ads with Google. And how many of you guys have leveraged these before? Am I the only one? Yeah, okay, there's a couple. I think he's from Home Depot too, so that's good. Local inventory ads, if you don't know, they're allowing you to show where your closest store is for particular products in that shopping feed. And I love this addition from Google because it's a mobile-first unit, and it really hones in on why I think people are using your mobile phone. But Google, I got a bone to pick with you. I love these, You click on the feed here, and it drives you to this page. And you're clicking on that, a click that I am paying for, mind you, and it is driving to a Google-owned destination. And that's frustrating for brands, because I have invested countless resources in perfecting my product pages, giving people the information that they need to complete their shopping purchase, and Google is giving us one more step to get to my website. That's frustrating for a brand. And also, I can't even get that customer data anymore, because now they're probably getting what they need, and they're no longer coming to my website, so I can no longer cookie and retarget them. Now let's pivot a little bit to mobile advertising and mobile display. And we have to talk about viewability when we do that. 64% of mobile ads served aren't even viewable. How much money are we wasting on content that no one even sees? Think about the last time that you guys were on Facebook, on your news feed. How fast were you scrolling through your news feed on Facebook? It was pretty fast, right? People actually scroll through Facebook 41% times faster on their mobile device than they do on their desktop device. You're not reading every word. You're doing a drive-by scan to figure out, what is there anything that can distract me from what I'm doing now? What is interesting enough that I can look at? Now, think about the last time that you were actually reading a piece of content on your mobile phone. You're probably scrolling through it a lot slower. You're absorbed in that content. And while we spend more time on Facebook on our mobile phones, we actually spend more quality time outside of those apps. When we are engaged in that video, when we can't stop looking at the Stranger Things trailer, or what's going to happen next with Game of Thrones. That's the content that we are absorbed in. And that's the type of place that I want my messaging to appear, when you're actually engaged in that content, not when you're just doing a drive-by scan. It's funny because this has drastically changed the way that people maneuver throughout their different channels. There is no such thing as a linear path to purchase anymore. You guys all know this. Even as far back as 2012, Time Inc. found that digital natives who are adults under 30 are switching platforms every other minute. Could you imagine what that stat looks like now in 2017? We are no longer battling the second screen on your mobile phone. You're battling a second, a third, and a fourth screen. And we can do this because we have to start thinking about how mobile can be integrated into our other channels. Because mobile is not a channel. Mobile is a device that all other channels can be accessed on. TV is a really great complement to how we can start serving our mobile to time better with our other messaging. Because we know that the way that people watch TV is vastly different now than it used to be. 32% of people are actively on their phones while they are watching TV. They are searching and they are looking for other content. And technology exists today where you can now serve your mobile marketing to appear immediately following your TV commercials. So you very are likely already having up your mobile search bids to appear before and after your TV commercials air, because we know people search while you watch TV. But now you can do the same thing with your mobile display ads. But this isn't just your content. This can be your competitors' content. This can be regularly broadcasted content. So if you know that your consumers are avid Bachelor fans, you can time your mobile messaging to appear around that content as well. Mobile has given us this immediate access to consumers, but it's also given us something even more important, and that's their location. If I know nothing else about my customer than their location, that's okay. I'm doing pretty good because that location is a key indicator of what they are doing and where they are going. Mobile, or location, should be your primary currency when it comes to mobile marketing. But the thing that makes mobile so fascinating is being able to track and see all of this location data is also the hardest thing about mobile marketing, because what we have to do is we have to find the time that people are idle when they are out and about. Right? We know from their location they're active shoppers. They're maybe currently shopping right now. We know where they are going, but that's not the time that you're always going to be on your phone. That's what you need to do, is figure out what are those times when people have nothing else to do, when they are in effect killing time, because that's when they reach for their phones to look at content. We know geoconquesting, geofencing is nothing new. This allows you to ping your ads to serve once they've reached your competitor's local or location vicinity, right? We've all implemented some sort of tactic like this, but it would be really interesting if we can leverage this type of tactic around places where people are typically idle. These are things like airports, or post offices, or fast food restaurants, or coffee shops. Because those are the time when they're grabbing their phone, and those are the time where they're going to be engaged most with your content. But of course, there is a big pink elephant in the room if we talk about geo-conquesting a physical location, and that's Amazon and Amazon Prime. And we all know that everyone shops on Amazon. How many of you guys have an Amazon Prime account? Yeah, almost everybody. About 56 million people have an Amazon Prime account. That's 46% of the US population. So when we talk about geo-conquesting a physical location, how do we solve for Amazon, right? There is something like 55% of product searches start on Amazon now. And if you are a retailer, any retailer, that's a startling statistic for you. But thanks to phones, technology exists today where you can actually target people based off of the apps that they have downloaded on their phone. So I can target people through my first-party data. I can target pros who have the Amazon app targeted on or downloaded on their phone. And I'm able to reach them and conquest them specifically for that purpose. We also know that mobile has introduced new search engines. Google is not the only search engine anymore. And while 55% of people start their product searches online, there is a whole nother percentage out there of how do I start my research? Where do I get my information, my education, right? Where do I learn and figure out what's the product that I know I want to buy? And it used to be we went to Google, but now we have so many more other options available to us. It's things like social networks, like Pinterest and Houzz and Facebook and Nextdoor. People are using these social networks to socialize and share and build their network, but they're also using these networks to shop and even buy. This is where people are going first now to get what the information they need. And this is where you have to start thinking about how can I start integrating my messages where people are going first to get that research. We also know that mobile has drastically changed the way that we search. We've talked about voice search a while, so I don't want to spend too much time on this, but before, it was pretty easy for us if we wanted to optimize for pet-friendly hotel, right? We knew that keyword. We could get data on that keyword. That was actionable for us. But now, with mobile phones and with voice search, people aren't searching pet-friendly hotel. They're searching, is there a pet-friendly hotel in Nashville with gluten-free options that's close to the bar? Like, how in the world am I supposed to keyword research for that? How in the world am I supposed to optimize for that? Okay, so the last couple of minutes I want to talk about data, and I want to talk about measurement. And mobile is extremely hard when it comes to measurement because we are severely limited in the amount of data that we can get back from our mobile advertising, especially if you're doing mobile in-app advertising. And you can no longer put your mobile metrics against the same metrics that you use for paid search or SEO because it's an unfair competition. We are also facing a severely uphill battle when it comes to showing the value of mobile because we are so focused on last click attribution. So within any media mix modeling software that you use to prove the effectiveness of all of your marketing, mobile is going to look like crap. Because when was the last time you ever directly converted off of a mobile search ad or off of a mobile display ad? We have to start thinking more about what are the other metrics that we need to use to be able to prove the value of mobile. And at Home Depot, we're doing that by things like making sure that mobile is not living in its bubble. Online metrics aren't living in their only bubble because what we do online will greatly influence and impact what we do outside in our stores. And so we partnered with Google to be able to show, hey, how are our mobile ads, both search and display, driving people to our stores for our home and garden department. This is our plants. People don't buy plants online, right? We may see an ad and they're going to go into our stores, and we found that 1 in 3 people who clicked on a mobile search ad also visited that store, and we saw very similar things with our mobile display. Leveraging things like location extensions, getting people to your store, and that really drives me to my last purpose is that if you have physical locations, if you are a retailer with physical locations, mobile's key purpose is not ROAS, it is to get people into your store. There is no denying that we are living in this e-commerce age. We know that it's here, but the fact of the matter is mobile is influencing more in-store purchases than we are currently giving it credit for. Forrester research found that for every $1 transaction on your mobile phone, it influenced $30 in-store. Home Depot is a $96 billion company. $90 billion of that is transacted into our stores. I don't want to downplay the importance of e-commerce, but we have to keep playing up the importance of physical locations if you have definite locations across the United States. So for us, that's why we have been able to pivot our mobile strategy to focus not on ROAS as our primary KPI, but on in-store visits. Everything that I do on mobile now, I am concentrated on how does this impact my incremental visits to my store, because that's our key purpose for mobile. And that's everything I got for you guys. Do we have questions?
Wow, Aaron, that was terrific. Thank you. Great energy. Anyone have any questions for Aaron? Oh, Lori, of course. Lori?
Aaron, when did you start focusing on in-store visits rather than?
About a year ago. Any other questions?
Did you have one, Steve? I thought you were raising your hand. Oh, yeah.
Steve Gibson, Canvas. What do you use as your primary metric for store visits? Is it Google in-store visits? Is it Place IQ or something else?
Yeah, that's a great question. We use an unbiased third party because while I love Google and Facebook and Pinterest for their ability to be able to measure in-store visits, I think that they're grading their own homework if they give that information to me. So we use Ninth Decimal. We don't have to run our media through Ninth Decimal to be able to serve and tell how many incremental visits it's got. It's completely unbiased for us. And that's also allowed us to have a consistent measurement across all of our channels. Right? So we don't have one store visit metric from Facebook and one from Google and one from Placed. We have one central location that I can measure effectively across everything that we're doing.
Okay. All right, Aaron, if there's no more questions, that was terrific. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
All right.